If you suffer from PTSD and are considering EMDR therapy, or if you're already in therapy, I have something really interesting to share with you. Hi everyone, I'm Ashley Phillips. I've been a clinical counselor since 2013, and I'm the founding therapist here at the Kelowna EMDR Clinic. I recently came across a study in the European Journal of Psychotraumatology that looked into combining EMDR and yoga. The researchers found that this combo led to big improvements in anxiety, emotional regulation, and made EMDR sessions more effective compared to the control group. First, let's give you some background. For trauma-focused therapies like EMDR to work, clients are asked to revisit traumatic memories. That exposure is essential for memory remodeling and desensitization. But before we can expose clients to traumatic memories, they need to feel safe and feel that they can manage strong emotions. If they don't feel safe or unable to regulate their emotions well, it often leads to avoidant behaviors. In therapy, this can look like avoiding certain topics, dissociation, skipping sessions, or dropping out of therapy altogether. So what's up with yoga? Well, yoga engages both the body and the mind. It can help people to stay present and makes it easier to be mindful of their emotional state. There have been studies prior to this indicating that yoga may be a good complementary modality for trauma treatment, so the authors of this study wanted to take a bit of a closer look. Here's what they did. They recruited 32 adult women who met the diagnostic criteria for childhood abuse-related post-traumatic stress disorder, and they divided them into two groups. The first group was the EMDR control group that only did 10 EMDR sessions one time a week. The other group, yoga and EMDR, they started with weekly 75-minute yoga sessions for 10 weeks before they started their 10 weekly EMDR sessions. Here's what they found. Both groups showed improvements in PTSD symptoms, and that's good. It's what you would expect to see after 10 EMDR sessions. While the symptoms improved somewhat more for the EMDR and yoga group, the difference was not statistically significant. Both groups also had similar improvements in dissociation and depression scores. Now, the yoga and EMDR group did much better than the control group in 4 important ways. First, their reported level of anxiety was considerably lower. Second, the individuals in the group were much better able to regulate their emotions. Third, participants in the yoga and EMDR group got further ahead in their EMDR treatment, averaging a higher number of desensitization sessions. What that says to me is that they were able to get more out of the EMDR therapy than the control group. Finally, in the EMDR and yoga group, everyone who began EMDR therapy completed all 10 sessions, while the control group, several people dropped out. Now, I have to say that the study does have 3 main limitations in my eyes. First, we have a rather small sample size of 32, which is not a lot. Authors themselves say ideally they would have had 33 participants in each group, not 32 total. Another issue was ending the study after 10 EMDR sessions. And I get how that makes data collection easier, but clients can't necessarily complete the entire EMDR protocol in that time, especially if they're dealing with trauma from childhood abuse. So potentially, they are assessing people's progress about halfway through. Finally, there was no follow-up with participants after the completion of the 10 EMDR sessions. It would have been really interesting to have the study follow participants all the way to the completion at the end of their EMDR treatment and 6 months and a year after completion of EMDR treatment. Still, these results are quite promising. So if you're considering EMDR therapy or you're already in therapy, consider pairing it with yoga as it can make your therapy time more effective. If you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up to help the channel grow and subscribe to it so you don't miss the next video. Until next time.